Greetings car fans. We get this letter quite a lot in our car mailbox, which is, I've bought a car and the fuel economy that I'm achieving in the real world is not comparable to what was stated when I bought the vehicle. So we are going to do some real world testing today with 4 vehicles, and essentially it's a case of how close can we get our cars to the claimed economy figure in real world driving conditions. Now, because we want to do this scientifically, we've chosen 4 different modes of transport, essentially. One is the downsized petrol engine, BMW 330i, 190 kilowatts, and a claimed economy of 6.4. So we'll see whether we'll be able to get close to that.
Hello, this is my fighter, the Lexus IS 300h. It's a hybrid, which means it's got a petrol engine and electric motor. Combined output is 164 kilowatts. Claimed fuel consumption is 5.5 liters per 100 kilometers. What it does have though is the best of both worlds. It allows you to drive in EV mode at low speeds, and once that petrol engine kicks in, it powers the battery. Power goes to the rear wheels only via a CVT gearbox, and I know that this self-charging hybrid is going to win the race.
So for this test, I decided to bring a good old oil burner to the back. Boasting a 140 kilowatts and 400 Newton meters, 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo diesel engine, the Audi A5 Quattro S-Tronic has a fuel consumption figure of only 6.2 liters. However, the great thing about diesel is range, and if you go and work out the amount of range from its fuel tank, you should be able to get on average 950 kilometers on a single tank.
So, while my colleagues have bought a whole lot of cars with internal combustion engines to this shootout, should we call it, I'm the only person here driving an electric vehicle. And what an electric vehicle it is. This is the Porsche Taycan. It's the company's first electric vehicle, or fully electric vehicle I should say. And this particular one's quite interesting because it's the entry-level model. It's only just come out. Now, the more powerful ones, they've got motors both at the front and the rear. This is more traditional Porsche in that the motor is at the rear and it's rear-wheel drive. Being the entry-level model, power is actually quite modest. There's quite a few figures to follow, so just bear with me. Nominal power sits at 280 kilowatts, but if you put that on overboost, that goes up to 350 kilowatts. Torque stands at 357 Newton meters, and consumption, I believe, is about 28 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. This particular car has the Performance Plus battery, which is a dual layer battery, and that's got a capacity of about 93.4 kilowatts, if I remember correctly. That should give it a range of about 484 kilometers, which is pretty respectful for an EV.
So, in our electric versus hybrid versus petrol versus diesel test, we're taking it quite scientific. When the cars are tested for their economy, those are done on a rolling road dynamometer in very, very controlled conditions. Now, people who buy the cars say those figures are not attainable in the real world, which is what we're going to test. So that's why we're going to take our route in the real world. Essentially in Cape Town, we're going to go down the main road all the way. So we're going to actively put ourselves in traffic, and that road eventually turns into the extra urban road that goes all the way around the peninsula for beautiful views and everything else. And once we've driven all of the cars through those different environments, we should have a good idea of, are the figures attainable that the manufacturers claim?
Okay, so off the bat, I'm going to say that the Porsche is at a slight disadvantage here. Obviously, logistics and what have you, we had to run the car between the Porsche dealership and the office and photography and what have you. So while my combustion engine compatriots are starting on pretty much a full tank, I'm starting on about 78% charge with a range of 341 kilometers, which, given that our route is about 120 kilometers, should be fine. But as ever with an EV, you're kind of putting a toe into the unknown. You never know what sort of traffic conditions you're going to encounter. You know, there isn't that reassurance of an established infrastructure like you have with petrol stations. Indeed, in terms of charging infrastructure for EVs in this country, it's very limited. I believe there's fewer than 200 of the things countrywide. But anyway, we're underway, and yeah, should be interesting to see how this car fares against the combustion engine brigade.
For the purposes of this test, the Lexus has been outstanding because I've been able to utilize that electric power up till about 45-50 k's, and then the petrol engine kicks in automatically. It's a very easy transition from electric to petrol, but you can obviously hear the moment that the petrol engine kicks in. The ICE, the internal combustion engine. And we've done urban cycles, so we've been in the city, stop-start traffic, and that's where the Lexus really did a phenomenal job. The combination of the 650 volt electric motor, not volter, electric motor, coupled to the 2.5 4-cylinder petrol engine.
So we've sort of crossed over the halfway mark of our test, and the first leg was brutal, I have to say. Really slow out of the city, trying to do any sort of fuel economy tricks of driving this way, that way, was not possible in that heavy traffic, I have to say, not possible at all. And now we've crested Smitswinkel, we're on the other side of Cape Point, and it's great because now there's a little bit of momentum I can build up, and I can watch my economy dropping in the BMW. I was into the sort of the double-digit figures when I was in the city, which was by far the highest, and now I'm in 7.5 liters per 100, which is good going. If you're at a reasonable speed and you lift off the throttle, you get coasting, which is excellent in this BMW 330i.
After the first leg, the Audi recorded 8.3 liters per 100 kilometers. And that was after a short distance in town with a lot of traffic. But luckily, afterwards, when we set off for the open road, it dropped dramatically. And soon the Audi was sipping less than 7 liters per 100 kilometers. The range has fallen by 110 kilometers, but it should be interesting to see what the final range reading will be as soon as we arrive back at our starting point.
So here we are back at the Atlantic seaboard after a long day of driving, and the results are in. In fourth position is the BMW 330i. The claimed figure that it was going for was a 6.4, and it managed to get down to 6.7, which I'm very proud of and very happy about. That's a deficit of 4%, 4.7% overclaimed. In third position, the Audi TDI. The figure this one was going for was a 6.2 liters per 100, and Marius managed to get in under at a 6.1. So a 1.6% improvement over claim. Well done, Marius. In second position, we've got the Lexus Hybrid. consumption figure he was going for was a 5.5 and managed to achieve a 5.3, which is a 3.6% improvement. And our winner of the day, Porsche Taycan. This is quite unbelievable actually. The claimed energy consumption is 28 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. And throughout the day, on a mixed cycle run, 19.3, which equates to a whopping 30% improvement over claim. So there you have it, Porsche Taycan.